We've got an intermittent start. Dang, it's cold out here. We got an intermittent start on this Hellcat. Guy's name is Angel. How's that for a complex life? Hey, is this Angel?
Yeah, this is him.
Angel, this is Dave at Dave's Auto. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I mean, the irony here, I've got to mention it, is unbelievable, dude. Your name is Angel and you're driving a Hellcat.
I know, right?
I mean, did you have that in your mind before you went out and bought that car? Of all the cars you bought?
I didn't. That's actually the first time someone has told me that.
Get out of here, dude. Are you telling me I'm the first guy that's ever brought that to your attention?
Yeah, the first guy.
Well, anyway, it's kind of ironic. But listen, let's talk about your car. So I'm going to tell you the story I think I got on it. You had the battery replaced at the dealer. The next day, car wouldn't start. The short story is you just put a starter in it, and you did the starter yourself. It wouldn't start in the parking lot for us, but we pushed it inside, and then bam, it started.
Yeah, it does that. Like, it'll start like a few times like nothing, and then just it will happen to me at a gas station. I just turned it off to pump gas, and then it didn't start back up anymore.
Yeah.
And I know I spoke to someone else too. While you guys have it there, there's another issue that I've kind of been chasing for quite a while now.
Angel, don't give me another intermittent problem, for crying out loud. This is your first time. Go easy on us, man.
I know.
What is it?
So about a year ago, I actually that rear end that it has in now, that's a new rear end that I bought from, I think it was, I forgot the website, but that rear end is from 309 gear, and because my other rear end was clunking and cranking, I pretty much blew the rear end. So I changed that rear end about a year ago, and just recently I've been chasing it. When I'm at a dead stop and I'll take off, I'll hear a thump noise.
Okay.
But when I'm cruising and driving, the car's totally fine.
So dead stop, are you really jumping on it, or just kind of a regular takeoff?
Just regular stop, just dead stop. Just like if I'm at a stoplight and I'm about to take off, I hear a thump.
Okay.
Occasionally, like two thumps. So thumps, like constantly, doom, doom, and then they'll go away.
Okay. Well, if I get it up in the air again, I'll take a look at that for you.
Okay, I appreciate that so much.
All right, Angel. Thank you. Bye-bye. Intermittent problems. Anyway, let's go see if it's got an intermittent start. He's replaced the starter and the battery, but he says it still happens. It'd be nice if it happens right now, I'll tell you. Dang it. Now I gotta have to test drive it. Darn. I'll be right back. A lot of car, man. If I was a young kid and had a car like this, I'd be dead. Let's talk about this. Okay, a couple of things. He brought it to us because he had the battery replaced, thinking it wouldn't start, and that it was a battery. That didn't fix it. So then he goes and he buys his own starter, and he's installed it. Now, did you pull that heat shield back, Tyson?
I did not. He had it that way.
And have we checked connections on the starter?
Yep, that's why I have my wires hooked on there for voltage drop to see if, there's something.
You got a wire on there now?
Yeah, I got test leads on. If you look here, you can see the positive one.
So you got a good ground and a power source, and then you're running your test leads.
I have them going up to the top, and then I have wires to go from the trunk to the front.
And you're doing that so that when it doesn't crank, is it actually getting voltage and it's the starter, or if it's not getting a voltage signal?
Yeah.
And you haven't been able to have that happen to you.
So, signal wire, haven't had any issues there. That's where, do I hear a little click? Do I don't hear a click?
Uh-huh. But you can't get it to, the first step to repair is, what is it? Duplicate the condition.
Yep.
When somebody tells you the car is making a clunking noise or, squeaky noise or whatever it's doing, you want to be able to duplicate that. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't start. It's that 1 out of maybe 100, I'd just probably a little more. One out of 100, you're like, starts every time. So this is what you do. You do voltage drops test, and you keep testing it. The other thing the guy was saying is that he put a new rear end in here, or a junkyard rear end, because he blew his rear end out. But he said now he's got a clunk from a dead standstill. We're gonna have to drop the exhaust and pull the driveline out and inspect it.
It's this joint, I think, right here.
Let me see. I can feel it too. Okay, so he needs a driveline.
See if they have an upgraded version.
You're not gonna hear it, but you can feel it. Clunk, clunk, clunk. So let's drop it down. Let me see what your test leads are. That's good, Tyson. Not all the way down. We tested our battery just to make sure, and it's a new battery, so we don't have a problem there. Let's get in. When's the last time you've tested it for a start?
This morning.
Go ahead and hook it up. Now, the only reason he's doing this is he's just. Okay, put the relay in it and let me hit the starter. Yeah, nice car. No wonder the tires are bald. You know, you might find this video boring, but this is real life. I don't know what to tell the guy. He says it's stranded him a couple of times and it just won't start.
Or won't crank.
Won't crank. What do you think, Tyson? What would be your advice at this point?
Mine would be to remove that starter, make sure all the connections are clean, replace the pigtail to the signal wire, and put in another starter. That way, if something happens again, you can say it's a starter problem and it's not my connections, it's not my wiring.
I know, but that's a lot of money to tell a customer to spend and without any evidence of that.
Or he just waits until I have a fault and then I know.
So that's, I think, the decision that the customer has to make. So let's go let him make it.
Hello?
Angel, hi, it's Dave at Dave's Auto. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, your car, we've started it, 10 times a day. We've had it on the lift since I spoke to you a couple of days ago.
Right.
And it cranks every stinking time. No voltage drop. We've looked at your connections at the starter. We've actually put our test leads on this starter. We've not lost the signal. It just cranks every time. I did look at the clunk that you were asking about in the rear end.
Uh-huh.
And you got a drive line that's needs to be replaced. It's shot. The dealership replaced your battery, and then to get this starting problem fixed, you decided to replace your starter yourself.
So actually, I already had replaced my starter, and then I took it to them because I still had the same issue. Because I went to go get my emissions done, and it didn't start. So I took it to the dealer, and then they replaced my battery because they were having the same issue, thinking it was my battery. And then it was still having the issue, and they told me that maybe I just got a faulty starter.
And that's I can't get to the crank, the solenoid, the pigtail, and really look at it without removing the starter. So you might have a bad pigtail connection there, some corrosion or something like that. I don't know that, but obviously it's working now for days. Or you could have got a bad starter. They can be intermittent like that. So as I see it, you have two options. One of them is don't do a dang thing. Just pay me for our testing, and we price a drive line if you want, and roll the dice and see if it gives you a no crank problem again, or we can get a. Now you got this starter from who was it?
I got it from AutoZone.
Okay. Did you ever look to see if it was a reman starter or
Yeah, I looked them up, and I'm pretty sure it is a reman.
Reman, yeah.
Here's my kind of thing. If I was just to tell you guys to just switch the starter at it, and probably better to just get an OE one, you think?
That's the other option I was going to give you, is let's just replace the starter with a different manufacturer, an OE, and at that time, we'll, of course, check that solenoid, the pigtail connection at the starter, and make sure that there's no problem with the connector or anything like that. And then if there is, we can replace the connector. I wish I could tell you, oh, hey, we found it. It's a bad starter, but it's not acting up.
Yeah, I understand. I know. And trust me, that car's been giving me a headache for a while now. How much would that be if I tell you guys to replace just the starter? And
sure. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll have Brandon put a quote together for you on a OE starter, and we'll check that connector and everything. And he'll also give you a quote on that Driveline, and we'll call you back here in just a little bit.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I think I am gonna just probably go with the OE starter for now.
Okay.
And then probably return that one or something.
You got it. We'll make sure you get it. Okay. Angel, good talking to you, man. You're a nice guy to work for. I wish we could tell you with the surety, hey, yeah, you got a bad starter, but I think you understand our dilemma.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it, Tristan. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a good day. Brandon will call you soon.
All right, appreciate it.
Bye-bye. All right, well, that's it. You know, sometimes you just got to tell, you know, if you educate your customer, most customers are understanding. You know, when you get the one guy that says, well, I paid you to diagnose it and you can't figure it out. Well, you know, have you ever been to a doctor's office and they run all kinds of tests and they tell you, don't really know what's wrong. Let's just wait and see. Kind of same thing, but at this point, we'll give them a prescription of a different manufactured starter. After talking to him and making a decision about it, he's going to hold off on the Driveline. It's got a little clunk. He let that go, and what we're going to do, we're waiting on an OE starter. It's a week out, and we'll store it for him and put a starter in it. I think that'll take care of it, and we'll get rid of that reman.